definition of fugacity. Talked about the fluid mixture and pure component fugacity. You know that F equals to P exponential mu minus mu ig Tp by RT, and the for fluid mixture is defined unique way. If I mix this exact exponential mu I minus mu I IgM, you can say mu I mix P x bar by R. Tp will be there for the pure substance and Tpx bar is for the multi-component substance. So this is the ith component fugacity, and if you look at last class, I would ask a question about the departure of the individual component, and that's the classic example of it. You need to have departure for the individual component. That means what? You have to calculate mu I mix minus mu I IgM Tp x bar, which is nothing but Gi bar minus Gi bar IgM Tp x bar. Earlier we talked about the mixture departure. Now we talk about individual departure. And you see that when you calculate this individual departure, it is not that straightforward what you expect. Okay, for the overall mixture departure, for example, if you want to talk about M minus MIGM, which is Tp, we talk about P tending to 0 to P dou M by dou P prime Tp prime, P minus P tending to 0 P dou M IgM by dou P prime T dP prime. Okay, this actually talks of the homogeneous system. When you talk about the individual, then this x bar will come, or the fraction. It's very careful. You have to be very careful. Okay. So we'll be now talking for the formula is the same, but it will be, we have to see that how these things will be evaluated. Let's see what are the challenges for evaluating individual departure, individual partial molar component departure function. So mu I mix, mu I equals to Gi bar, and which is nothing but definition of Gi bar. Tell me quick. Gi bar. Mu I equals to Gi bar equals to definition mu I. What's up? How to define partial molar component of dissipation energy? Define. We'll be having an exam day after tomorrow. Partial molar component of dissipation energy. How to define? Partial molar component of any property. How to define? Just raise the hand. Don't buzz. There's a problem. Partial molar component of any property, Mi bar, if I say, how to define that? The bio. Partial molar property, when come on, I have defined so many times. You just say I don't know that. You know that, you don't know that. That's too much. You come to the class for what? To attendance? To get attendance? If I say any property, Mi bar, partial molar property, how to define that? Hi bar, how to define that? Ui bar, how to define that? Summation. But just, I don't think we're in the real world, we're in some kind of imaginary world. And you're talking that kind of language. Do Mi by? If I say Gi bar, okay, define it. Gi bar. Don't complicate. Gi bar. Do capital G. I na? Do capital G by do. Are you sure what we're talking about? You are not sure. Anybody else? Any hand please? Yes. Yeah, you are just talking from the notes. You don't talk from here. Thanks. Thanks for your volunteer business. P, P, N, J, J not equals to Y. You don't feel for the subject. That's the unfortunate part. Only 2-3 guys I'm talking about. Sometimes I want to take care of some other guys. It is my mistake, so I apologize to you. I won't ask any question to you. They were in another way. I'm sorry. You should feel for that subject. There is no point. Absolutely. Okay. So dg equals to that we know minus s dt plus v dp plus summation I equals to 1 to c mu I dni. Okay. Remember that we are finding about departure. For the departure, when we talk about departure, what's the objective? If I want to find out mu I minus mu I IgM Tp x bar, that we defined as departure of chemical potential, defined as double. Pardon?
Sir, RT ln F.
I am talking departure, how to define the departure. M minus MIGM Tp. You know how to define it? Yes, that's what I'm asking for. Please apply the brain, you have that. Yes. Integral P dou mu y dou. That's what you are not in the real world. You know, I don't know what I'm talking about in the class. Maybe I should leave the class. If you start behaving like this, then I don't know why I'm talking and how I'm teaching the class. Anybody else? Yes.
So
Dou P prime, dP prime, then
the minus.
Although you don't talk about any constant, the partial derivative, you don't care. You know? Why do you care? Put all other things constant. You don't care, right? What are the things to be constant?
The
Tx bar. Tx bar. Minus P tending to 0. P dou mu I IgM by dou P prime Tx bar dP prime. Very simple thing I'm asking. And people get confused. Very simple thing I'm asking. I'm not asking anything complicated. Because if you don't follow, that's it. You'll be completely lost. That's why I'm asking questions. I'm trying to help you. Don't think that no, I just don't care, you know. If some 3-4 guys can follow, they can teach the entire class. Okay. So you have to find out dou mu I by dou P and dou mu I IgM by dou P. So dou mu I by dou P, dou mu I by dou P Tx bar, or you can say Tn bar. We have already found it in the last class. Can you browse through and find out what is that dou mu I by dou P? And we have done that way. I don't want to do that. It is dou P of dou G dou Ni. It is Tp Nj not equals to I, which is T dot. And then you flip the things, this thing, so it is dou Ni of dou G dou P, and that's it. So what is dou G dou P? Which is nothing but V, and dou V by dou Ni will be coming, which is nothing but equals to what you get finally? What you get finally? See, you're still stuck, you're not feeling the subject. That's my unsuccess in the class. At the end of the class, I feel I'm a complete failure as a teacher of thermodynamics. What's the answer finally? VI bar. That's actually so much of shouting you have to tell the VI bar. It should be coming automatically. Okay? Similarly, you have to talk about the VI bar. So dou mu I. Let me give all the steps. Tx bar, which is VI bar IgM, which is nothing but VI bar Ig, right? For VI bar IgM equals to Ig. VI bar, UI bar, HI bar, not for SI bar, AI bar, GI bar. They are not the same. So GI bar IgM is not GI bar GI Ig. Should be VI Ig. I'm sorry, because Ig means ideal gas. It is not. The bar should not be there. So what we knew earlier, VI bar IgM equals to VI Ig, UI bar IgM equals to UI Ig, HI bar IgM equals to HIIG, but Si bar IgN is not equals to SiIg and AI bar IgN is not equals to AIIg and Gi bar IgN is not equals to GIIg. Right? Okay, remember that we are proceeding for the thermodynamic departure function of the partial molar property, partial molar Gibbs energy. Once you get, you can get the FR. If you don't get, you cannot get the expression. Just like your pure substance, pure composite fugacity, you have to go for the chemical potential departure. Once you got it, you got the expression for fugacity, and then from the various equation of state, you got the fugacity calculation. Is that clear to all of you? And then the same procedure you carry out. So let me proceed from here. So mu I minus mu I IgM Tp x bar, which is P tending to 0 to P dou mu I by dou P prime P x bar dP prime P tending to 0 to P dou mu I IgM dou P prime P x bar dP prime. Following which we can write this as 0 to P. I want to combine these two, so it will be first term will be Bi bar or Bi prime bar, because my variable is P prime, right? Variable is P prime. I'm talking the P prime domain. The pressure is P prime, the prime stuff. Okay. I hope that minimal amount of calculus you have in your knowledge. So what's the function of this? Vi prime. The function of this is a function of Vi prime. Vi bar is a function of V is the function of. Please don't talk, please. If I say V is a function of ideal gas, pardon? Just raise the hand. If I am asking a simple question for ideal gas, V is the function of. Yes, sir. T and P. If you have to be brave, And for Vi bar, the function of P variable. Yes, sir. TP. Arbitrary you are talking. Is a specific variable. All variables should be either intensive or specific, no extensive variable. The simple things that I have taught in the class, every day I'll come, I'll shout and go, nothing will come to your brain. That's it. I'm really surprised. This is the way class is going on. But for the mixture, TP, no response, only two hands. Only two hands, that's why I'm telling you that I don't want to teach in the class for two people. Don't make sure like that. Madam, you don't know that? Xi. You can say X bar. Okay? You should say X bar, right? Why it is like that? Dalton's law of partial pressure, what is that? See, I have gone to the 10 plus 2 level. What is the Dalton's law of partial pressure? What's the expression in partial pressure? If I say, what's the expression of partial pressure? Summation of Pi equals to P, right? Yeah, so simple Dalton's law of partial pressure also I'm not getting from you guys. Amazing. Summation of Pi equals to P. And so, what will actually happen? Ideal gas. What's the expression for pressure? PV relationship? Any idea? I will tell you why it is X bar. Any hands? Only Rahul, that's it. Okay? You don't know anything. See, it's a 10 plus 2, don't say that, you don't know. Then I should get out of the class. Yes. xi by ni is the Dalton's law of partial pressure. If I say xi by ni like that and I get out of the class, you feel I am doing okay. I am not blaming you. I am just telling you that when I teach really. I really work hard, and I expect that you just give me back something. Otherwise, I don't feel like I am teaching the class. If I just one other word to teach in the class, don't look at you, come deliver the lecture and go. Shall I do that way? If I do that, I think you will be happy, I will be happy. Why I will be happy? Because I will not be sweating. I am not sweating out. I am working hard and I am getting the prize also. So I will come to the class, don't do anything, just deliver and go. That's it. That's the way US guys and many guys actually teach. I want to enjoy that way. So let's go that way. I won't discuss that part why this TP expert. That is your business, not my business. So TP x prime bar. Okay? And you are happy, I am not disturbing you. So I won't ask you a question. So minus, what is that? Now you want to find that, okay? Yes? RT by P prime. Okay? dP prime. Next step. 0 to P. Pi prime bar is what? Dou B by dou Ni. Dou B prime by dou Ni. TP Nj. J not equals to Y. And what's the function of this? If I write everything in terms of extensive variable, Rahul? TP n bar. Yes, I think I should interact with you. At least I get some answer. I will not waste my class time. TP n bar minus RT by P prime. What's the, and this P prime is the function of, we have to be very careful. This question, write the function because we have to be very careful. There are a lot of things we are doing afterwards. P prime is the function of Rahul. Pardon? Don't say total, you have to talk like this, man. Come on.
P and x bar.
I am asking P prime. You are saying the only P. Man, I just want to leave the class and go. If you say P prime, PV equals to RT. What is P? RT by V, and P is the function of T and V, and you didn't say the TV. So what's the function then? I have to go to that level. What's the function P prime?
TV.
Yes, see, I have to go to this level to get the answer from you. Just apply the brain. Everything is very easy. I am not doing anything complicated. So it is T prime V prime n bar because of the prime domain. dP prime. Okay. So you can see that it is different to do the departure for the partial molar property. Okay. This is in the departure calculation. You have seen that we always go to the V domain from the P domain. You are in P domain. We have to go to the V domain. That means what I am talking about. If you follow this, which is dou V prime by dou Ni TP n bar, the function which is TP n j not equals to Y minus RT by this, you can say P prime, no problem. Oh, sorry, P prime should be fixed actually there, and then it is dP prime. That's the complete expression. And how to make it V domain? Dou am I correct? Exactly what we have done in the last class. Okay. What should we do next step? If you follow the departure calculation in the pure substance, what we can do with this guy? Dou V prime by dou Ni. Dou V prime by dou Ni. Dou V prime by dou Ni TP NJ, J not equals to I. What we can do? Remember that this will be multiplied by dou P prime by dou V prime. That means, is it possible to have something like dou P prime by dou V prime here, so that when if I multiply this and this will cancel each other, and of course it can be done by implicit function theorem. It can be done by implicit function theorem. Okay? So fill in the blanks. What will you get? What will you get? Fill in the blanks. Any hands please? Any hands please? Rahul only, but anybody else? Yes, madam. Madam. Minus, okay, dou P prime, dou Ni, T, remember that V prime is there. D V prime, J not equals to I, and then T, T n bar. How to prove it? We knew from the Z fxy, we know that y equals to f of x z, x equals to f of y z, and you know, and what is the implicit function theorem for z of fxy? If you can write how to do the implicit function theorem here, I will repeat here once again, because I am sure you guys have forgotten, except even Rahul also might have forgotten how to derive for the z of fxy. I think you have forgotten, right? Implicit, yeah. Can you derive it for me?
It's dou y by dou x constant.
No. Your first step itself is wrong. How to derive? I'm asking how to derive it. Yeah, we forgot. That's all. So that means entire class has forgotten implicit function theorem. You cannot derive it. What is the first step? Yes. I think you are able to derive. I'm happy at least one guy. dz equals to dou z by constant y dx plus dou z by dou y at constant x dy. Next step. Yes. That means I am putting constant here. If I do that, then this guy go to 0, and then what will you get? So it will go to dou y by dou x at constant z equals to minus dou z by dou y, dou z by dou x y. That's the derivation. That's the derivation for the only two variables here. If there are multiple variables, now you have n plus 2 variables. You have so many variables here. How to do it for that? So, what's the first step? What is your z function here? Original function. Compare and tell me what's the first step. Compare and tell me what's the first step. This is very clear to all of you. Once you write the first step, you know that you have to put constant and get going. What's the first step? You have to prove it. I don't accept it unless the proof. This is proof, I am accepting it. What's the first step? Rahul? V prime equals to what?
Yeah, V prime.
Yeah, that's why we don't care, you know, the basics. I always care the kindergarten level. V prime is a function of
TP and bar.
TP n bar. Yes. Next step. Because this is my function. This is like my z function. And it's a function of TP n bar. Okay. Next step. TP prime n bar. Next step.
TP prime.
And this is the original function. This is like your y equals to fx z or something. So what we have to do, we have to write p equals prime equals to p hat v prime t n bar. Okay? Because remember that your left hand side will be y as a function of xz. Z fxy is given. That means the way you have to start as P prime equals to P Vt N bar. Okay? So, what will be dP prime? What will be dP prime? This is like y equals to fxz. You are going for z equals to fxy. And that's the z equals to fxy. So z is what? We are expressing P prime as P prime T N bar. Is that correct? My implicit function says that if y equals to fxz, I can write z as fxy, provided this rule satisfied. Right? That's the way implicit function theorem. So it is given. So can I write this? Yes, I can write if this relationship is satisfied. Okay? How to get this relationship? Next step. dP prime equals to no hands, huh? Nobody knows Taylor series. Yes, dP prime equals to what? You don't just please apply the brain. Look at the things, sir. If I do like this, the class you are gone completely. What? Dou P prime by dou V prime as constant d, n bar dV prime plus dou P prime dou T V prime n bar dt plus summation I equals to 1 to C number of components, then dou Ni P comma B. This is not correct. J not equal. What I not equal? J not equals what? D. Here is the function given. I have to express in terms of this, right? Okay. Next step will be what? I follow the same way. What we have done. What we have done with the z fxy, same way. What should be done? Next step. Constant P prime. Also, here in this system, entire system, T is also assume T does not vary. And similarly, for all Nj, J not equals to 1. That means dt equals to 0, dnj equals to 0 for j not equals to 1. I am imposing another 2 extra conditions. Otherwise you won't get the single expression. I am imposing another 2 extra conditions. Assume t does not vary, and similarly for all nj, j not equals to 1. That means these 2. Can you give me the answer now? From the Taylor series, you have everything in your book. This will go to 0, of course. Left hand side will go to 0. No doubt about it. Next term. First term is dou P prime by dou V prime T n bar. Dou V prime P prime. So right now, whatever is available, dou P prime by dou V prime T n bar, dou V prime P prime. It is there. What will be this term? Why? Because dt is 0. Temperature is maintained constant. Last summation term. Last term, summation term, what will happen? Last summation term, what will happen? How many terms will be there from summation? Let me write down the entire summation. Dou P prime by dou N1 P V prime Nj j not equals to 1 dn1 plus dou p prime by dou n2 t v prime nj j not equals to 2 dn2. Like that, one ith term will be there. Dou p prime by dou ni t v prime nj j not equals to I dni, and last term is dou p prime dou nc t v prime nj j not equals to c dnc. Now tell me what is the n equals to 0. Next step, 0 equals to dou p prime dou v prime t n bar dou v prime t plus which term will be there? Kindergarten level of teaching, thermodynamics. I am really enjoying. Which term will be there? Yes. Only ith term will be there because this will be all 0. Only ith term will be there. So it will be dou p prime dou ni t v prime nj j not equals to I d dou ni prime, and which is basically we have to write p. I have forgotten to write here. It should be p prime from there, p prime from there, p prime from there. So this p prime. What are the things constant? P prime, t, v prime. What else? Nj j not equals to 1. Right? This is a constant imposed here. Correct? Yes? This is a constant imposed here. Okay, so what is your what you have to find out? You have to find out what is dou v prime by dou ni. Your question was dou v prime by dou ni t p nj j not equals to 1. And now we can see that dou v prime by dou ni prime is coming. Okay, I think this v prime you can actually remove from here because you are imposing the temperature and pressure from there. So what actually happens here? So p prime in j bar. So you impose first pressure, then temperature. So temperature is there, and nj j not equals to 1. So v prime is actually extra. I didn't impose that. Okay. So whatever you impose, you have to write. What you actually get, what you are getting? Dou v prime by dou ni. These terms are obtained from there. Dou v prime by dou ni. Is it coming from there? Yes or no? Then what will you get? Minus
dou p prime by dou ni.
Dou p prime by
Dou ni.
dou ni.
Constant E V nj not equal to
T p
B sir B.
v prime, not v. T v prime
nj
j not equals to I divided by
dou p by
dou
p prime
by dou v prime.
dou v prime at constant E nj n.
If you understand this, we can do any linear transformation now. To understand that, so now you can see both the case temperature is constant. That's why imposed temperature constant. Okay. So if you want to get linear transformation, you have to fix such a way that you can actually, you should avoid summation part. Otherwise, you cannot get this simple form. So you can see that temperature is constant. So when you do that, simple linear transformation, implicit function theorem. So in that case, you can just see that only if there are multiple variables, this is the way you have to do that. So you can see that P is actually constant. Only we are talking about P prime and N bar. Okay. So P is this is the guide. So at a time you can take only one, other two will be constant. Otherwise you cannot write. So we can extend this as multiple variables. This is the way we can do the multiple variables. Correct? This is the way we can actually do the multiple variables. Okay. So similarly, if one would like to talk about dou Nj, but we won't talk about because dou Nj by 2n is delta Ij, we won't go for that. But this is the way one can actually do Legendre transformation. So coming back to the mu I minus mu Ij. So is this clear to all of you? Coming back to the mu I minus mu Ij. Mu I minus mu I Igm T P x bar equals to, in V plane I want in V plane what will be the expression? I want the V plane. We have done in the pure component, the pure substance departure function. You have the expression with you. In the V plane, what is the departure formula? P tending to 0 to P infinity will be P, it will be P there. P tending to 0 to P will be there or something else will be there. I am going to a V domain. V tending to infinity to V. Okay, next step. It is capital V. As known as small v. V prime tending to infinity to V. Then entire class is silent. Nobody is, yes madam? Minus dou P prime, that's what. We don't care for the prime and all those things because we think calculus is so easy. T V prime Nj J not equals to I function of, here what is the function? Next RT by P prime dou P prime by dou V prime as correct. So now you can see how difficult it is. It's different. So individual component departure calculation is much different from the pure component, pure substance. Pure substance, this dou P by dou Ni term will not be there. You are getting this for the first time. The individual component departure. So dou P by dou Ni. So you have, I talk about the term 1, first term, what you do. This calculation is easier because we have done, please look at the departure calculation for the pure substance. How will you do that? V prime tending to infinity to V dou RT by P prime dou P prime by dou V prime T n bar dV prime. What will be the formula? From your experience, can you tell me? You have done this term was there, pure substance departure calculation. What will be the formula from your experience? You don't have to prove here because you have done the proof. This proof was done earlier, not problem. It is there in the notes. I think people can read the notes and tell me the answer. It is there in the notes. I am just seeing that how many people are able to read the notes here. I have come to that level. I am asking people to read it from the notes, and I am only seeing the only 1 or 2 hands out of 41 people. Excellent. Congratulations to all of you. Tanmay, yes. Can you tell me the expression? Are you sure?
RT
RT?
DNN.
You are not sure just because for the sake of raising hand, you are raising hand. I am asking the final expression. We have done it. You don't know where it is there in the notes. You want me to check out from your notes? Yeah, you are lazy. You don't want to find out. Remember that I am helping in the class so that you don't have to struggle in the while you go home for studying thermodynamics. Yes, madam? You don't have notes, that's what. I can also say in the class, I don't know that, please get it from books, I will go to the next topic. I won't tell them in the class. If I tell you, have been good. You don't have notes? Can you tell me? Yes, yes. You don't have, that's what. Do you want me to help you to find the notes? I can come and find it from you. I think I have to go to that level now. So excellent. Now you want me to find out where is then the notes. And that is the way I waste my time in the class. Anybody could find in the notes this term? Only Rahul I can see. Only Rahul. Out of 40 people. I am really surprised. You couldn't find the notes? Yes, can you tell me, madam? RTLN? RTLN, mod Z. Then minus RT B prime tending to infinity to B. Sir, I don't know why I am teaching the class. If I don't teach well, you go and say son is bad, teacher is bad. If I say student is bad, you say that our teacher is shouting and put a poster. Okay. So you see my situation. And unfortunately I cannot do anything. I have to just digest everything from your place. Okay. So this part is done. And this proof is there in the notes. So it is as proved earlier. Of course I will prove it because I can prove here, again you will forget. So better use struggle or not. That way I learn from thermodynamics. Okay, so what did you get then? Your expression is mu I minus mu I IgM EP x bar B prime tending to infinity to B RT by B prime minus dou P prime dou Ni Tv prime Nj J not equals to Y, the function of B prime T n bar dV prime minus RT ln mod Z. This is the final form of the departure of chemical potential. The final form of departure of chemical potential. But thing is that this part you can evaluate, no problem. This part is still unresolved. This part was a new for this mixture. It was not there. Your pure substance. How to calculate dou P by dou Ni Tv Nj J not equals to 1. So you have to evaluate. This is a challenge. So how to evaluate? How to evaluate? This is a challenge. So let's look at that part. Dou P dou Ni T V Nj J not equals to 1. This will be obtained by equation of state. Let's look at VDUS, Van der Waals equation of state. P mix equals to RT by B minus B mix minus A mix by B square. Van der Waals equation of state. From here we can calculate dou P by dou Ni. The dou P by dou Ni calculation will be changed based on equation of state. It is easy for Van der Waals equation of state. It gets complicated for SRK and Payne-Levinson equation of state. So you can write P mix as RT. We have to write everything in terms of capital form, capital V form. So it is capital V by N minus V mix minus A mix by capital V by N whole square. To simplify, you can write this as nRT by V minus what? nRT by capital V minus, and please capital V minus NV mix minus A mix N square by capital V square. This is the equation I use. So that means equation of state can be better represented in terms of extensive variable, because you have to calculate dou P by dou Ni for the departure of chemical potential, which will be helpful for the calculation of the ith component of the fugacity. Okay. And what is N? N equals to summation J equals to 1 to C in J. A mix, if you have your class notes, can you tell from the class notes? I have done in the class. Very beginning, equation of state, multi-component system. I have defined A and B. I have defined A and B. Summation I equals to 1 to C, J equals to 1 to C, Aij, Xi, Xj. So as I said, everything should be done in terms of extensive variables in terms of N. What will be the form? Summation I equals to 1 to C, summation J equals to 1 to C, Aij, Ni, Nj by N square. So you can write A mix N square equals to summation I equals to 1 to C, summation J equals to 1 to C, Aij, Ni, Nj, equation number 2, equation number 1. Similarly, what will be the NB mix? So A mix N square is obtained directly, which is summation, double summation Aij, Ni, Nj. NB mix, NB mix, NB mix. NB mix will be in terms of extensive variable, yes, summation J equals to 1 to C, pardon, Bj Nj, equation number 3. Now we have to replace, we have to calculate dou P by dou Ni from here. We have to calculate dou P by dou Ni from here. That I think I will discuss in the next class. Thanks for your time.